Today we have to learn about current electricity. Okay? We are just going to learn about current electricity. Here we have to say the role of the charge. Actually, in electrostatics, we have learned about the charge at rest. We have learned this thing. So, during electricity, we must have to learn something about the charge. And here in electrostatic, we learn about the charge at rest. Now, if charge in motion, then we find two polarity, we find two cases. One, current electricity, and other, electromagnetic effect. Current electricity and electromagnetic effect or electromagnetism. So, here I just want to say you that charge will in motion, then it will constitute the different property, and if it moves with a steady state, a steady motion, then it constitutes electric current. And when it has the acceleration, then it constitutes next property that is called electromagnetism. Now, we have seen about the current electricity. Now, what is the current here? We have to learn about the current first. So, I just want to say about the current. This was the outline of the current electricity. Now, what is the current? For that, we can say that from any conductor to any conductor, if charges are moving steadily, then it constitutes the current. So a very good definition we have that when charges moves through any conductor, it constitutes current. A very good theory we have that what the measurement of the current will be, what the current will be here, what the measurement of the current will be. For that we can say the current will be measured as the charge flowing through any conductor in unit time. So actually this measurement is made on the basis of this. If the charges will move through any conductor, we find that in particular time, in very small time, more charges will move through the conductor, the strength will move. And if the time will move, the strength will less. So actually, the amount of current will depend, the measurement of the current will depend upon the time also. So we have to say about the current, if current is say that I, so this will equal to Q by T. Now, what is the SI unit? SI unit of this current is coulomb per second, or popularly it is called ampere. Clear? अब इसको ठीक कर दीजिए. Now, conductor, we have told here just now that current I is equal to Q by T. But we have a very good idea that I average. What will be the I average? I average will be the total charge flown by total time or change in charge by change in time. If we consider any cross section here, then how much charge will flow through this cross section in the given time, that is known as average current. And another charge quality is I instantaneous. This I instantaneous means the current in the particular time. What is the current in the particular time? That will be known as I instantaneous. We can say at a particular time what the current is flowing there. So this will be called as limit delta t tends to 0, delta q by delta t, and it will be written as dq by dt. So this is very small current in the particular time, how much current is flowing through the conductor, and this is the average current. These two have a big difference. Clear? This will have a big difference. This can be cleared by a very simple example. A simple numerical has been told by me here. Question: if the charge flowing through any conductor Q is equal to 3t square plus 2t plus 1, then find the average current flowing. And second question, instantaneous current flowing through conductor. These two questions gives you the different marks here. Q is equal to 3t square plus 2t plus 1. It means the charge is depending upon the time also. So here from this formula and from this formula we can solve something. Something has been missed here. In average current flowing in t is equal to 0 to t is equal to 3 seconds, and conductor at t is equal to 2 seconds or 3 seconds. This is the question. So here average current, we have the formula here, I average, that is equal to delta q by delta t. Delta q means we must have to write here two parameters, two time parameters, t is equal to 0, t is equal to 3. So we can write here one time, final time t, 3 into 3 square plus 2 into 3 plus 1 minus 0 plus 0 plus 1, and time delta t is equal to 3 minus 0. So what will be the arithmetical quotient? We have 3, 3, 9, 27 plus 2, 6 plus 1 minus 1 by 3, 7, 7, 14, 1, 2, 3 by minus 1 by 3, 33 by 3, perhaps 11 ampere. So I average is flowing through the conductor is 11 ampere. We must have to calculate arithmetically here. 9 into 3, 27, 2 into 3, 6 plus 1, 0, 0, 1, 33 plus 1, 34 minus 1. This will be the answer. Now we have to calculate the instantaneous. For instantaneous current, I instantaneous is equal to dq by dt. dq is given there, 3t square plus 2t plus 1 by dt. It is known to us very well from the differentiation that we can write here 3 into 2t plus 2, and that will equal to 6t plus 2. That will equal to, now t is equal to 3 seconds, so we can write here a t plus 2 is equal to 20 ampere. So what we have, I instantaneous is 20 ampere and here I average is 11 ampere. This will also in 3 seconds, this will also at 3 seconds. So the basic difference in instantaneous and average current is the current flowing in the average time and the current flowing in the particular time. This is known as the current. Topic to know how the current flows through the conductor. We are just knowing about the average current, instantaneous current flowing through the conductor, and the value has been also calculated by us just now. But here I want to know what is the speed of the current flowing through the conductor, and other also how the current flows through the conductor. For this we have taken a gas model, electron gas model, that gives you the speed or the velocity of the electron flowing through the conductor. For this we must have to learn something about the conductor. So let us come for the conductor. As we know that conductor has free electrons in huge amount, in the massive amount, in the large amount, and in mobile condition. Actually, this is a classical theory on which we can say the how current will move through the conductor. Here say, in conductor what we say? The conductor is those materials which has a large amount of free electrons in mobile condition, and the charges are carried by these materials, these free electrons, and so we can say when the charges will be given externally to them, the charges will move through it. So we can define it. The material which has large amount of free electron in mobile condition. Since the free electrons are in mobile condition, so these free electrons works as charge carrier, right? So in the solid conductor we can say that the free electrons are the charge carrier. In case of liquid, the ions are the charge carrier. In the case of gas, that is also the carriers are there, carriers are charged, ions. Now, in electrostatics, what we have find? For isolated conductor, we have find the electric field inside the conductor is 0. It is known from electrostatics. From electrostatics, we are knowing that for isolated conductor, the electric field inside the conductor is 0. Those conductors which are not connected externally, that is known as the isolated conductor, as we know about the isolation. Now, I want to focus the idea about the motion of the charge and how electric fields are 0 inside the conductor. See, suppose we have the conductor. Electric field is applied. Electric field is applied externally. External electric field. What is there? In the application, when the external electric field is applied on the conductor, we find the negative charges and positive charges are accumulated at the two ends of the conductor. Here the positive charge has been accumulated, here negative charge. So we can say charges are accumulated. And when these charges are accumulated at the two ends, certainly they will not move and they will produce the another electric field, that is induced electric field. Induced electric field. And this induced electric field is just opposite to the external electric field in the magnitude and direction both. So I can say you that here external electric field is equal to negative to the induced electric field. Therefore, net electric field will 0. Net electric field will 0. Now, the next matter regarding that, I just want to focus the idea that in absence of the electric field, can we say the electrons are not moving? No. The electrons are moving also. They are moving at least when the internal or net electric field will 0 inside the conductor. How say? See. Suppose we have the conductor. External electric field, induced electric field. But here what we say? What we see? We see that the huge amount of free electrons are residing inside the conductor, and these free electrons are moving. How they are moving? These free electrons are moving randomly due to temperature difference, due to thermal difference, due to thermal inertia. So we can say, I can write it in this way, when in the absence of electric field, the free electrons or electrons are moving randomly due to thermal condition. we can write in very simple way temperature difference, because the difference of temperature will be different outside or inside of the, so difference of temperature outside the conductor or inside the conductor gives you the thermal condition are different, and so the free electrons will move. Now the free electrons will move due to thermal energy, and their velocity is due to thermal energy. So the speeds of that energy is very much, very large. The electrons are moving with large speed, nearly equal to 10 to the power 6 meter per second. This speed is very large. And so, what we can say, that these thermal speeds are very large, and these thermal speeds actually got by the free electrons suffers several collisions inside the conductor. These free electrons will collide with atoms, molecules, kernels found in the conductor, and due to that, suppose this free electron will randomly move towards this, the position vacated by the free electron, that is called kernel. These kernel collide with the kernel. After this comes to here. So its speed will be different here. Suppose here speed is u1, velocity will be v1. I just say you, they will collide, successive collisions are made between the free electrons. Their speeds are, but the random speeds makes there the very slow difference between the very small difference between the initial point and the final point of the free electron. So if we consider the total amount of free electrons found in the conductor, we find the average speed of the average thermal speed. Average thermal speed of electron, that will be equal to u1, u2, u3 up to un by n. So the average thermal speed u will equal to 0. U thermal speed will 0. If we consider the velocity, suppose if we consider the velocity, then the thermal velocity will 0. Now we can write here average thermal velocity. Average thermal velocity of the electron is equal to 0. This gives you a basic condition. This gives you very interesting. It will play a very interesting role whenever you find out the drift velocity of the free electron. Right? Note it.